Hey everyone, we're back. It's Tami from the blog Nutmeg Notebook, where I teach people how to eat when they're following a whole food plant-based diet. We also are SOS free, which stands for salt, oil, and sugar. So if YouTube recommended this video to you, welcome. We're so glad to have you here and we hope you'll stay. Today, I'm going to show you how to make healthy chocolate cherry brownies. Oh, and they are so good. This is Tom.
Hi, hello everybody.
And Tom's going to moderate. So if you have any questions, if you would put 4 question marks in the comment section, then write out your question, followed by 4 more question marks, then that helps Tom spot the questions, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. So we celebrated our anniversary earlier this week, 41 years, our wedding anniversary. And of course, you know, we're in the middle of this pandemic, so we weren't able to go away on a trip like we had wanted to. So we just did a home celebration, and then we also were able to go just for a beautiful drive up in the mountains and eat lunch, you know, looking at the Yuba River.
Yeah, you posted that in the Nutmeg Notebook Facebook page, didn't you?
I did, and on Instagram. So, you know, we're on all the places: Facebook, Nutmeg Notebook; Instagram, Nutmeg Notebook; plus the blog, Nutmeg Notebook. So you can follow us on any of those. Then we got home, and I wanted to make something special for us for dinner. And for dessert, actually, I wanted something yummy. And you know, it's been years since I had a brownie, because I adopted this lifestyle in 2013, and then in 2015 I really went the SOS free, and I didn't know that I could make a brownie without sugar. Earlier in the week I saw Brittany from the Giroudi family, and she was making a brownie. And I thought, oh my gosh, I used to, before we went plant-based, I was really quite the baker in our social circle, and I made these brownies that had oats in them that everybody just died for. And you know, I thought, I bet I could probably replicate that. And so thanks to Brittany for giving me the inspiration, I was able to figure out a brownie that is very similar to what we used to eat. And of course, it's much, much healthier because it has no refined sugar in it, but it does taste amazing. So let's talk about the ingredients that are in it and what some options are. Oh, you know what, Tom? I forgot to get the cherries out. We just did a live, and now we're doing another. I need half a cup of the frozen cherries.
These cherries?
Yes,
okay.
If you would, please. Thank you. Good thing I just thought of that. We didn't think that, we just did a video, a live video. It started at 3:30, where I was showing how to make a really delicious lentil loaf with a date glaze. And we never thought that the video would go a full hour, so we thought we'd have plenty of time to set up to do the brownies. But you know, we should know, you guys are a chatty bunch. And hey, maybe share this. You can even share it right now live on your favorite Facebook groups, and that helps us reach more people. So I know a lot of people are going to want to make these brownies. So one thing that I'm using, because I'm not using flour, I'm gluten-free. And so if you want to make these brownies gluten-free, if you're gluten-free or someone that you're making them for is gluten-free, make sure that you buy the certified gluten-free oats for this. So I have 1 cup of Japanese sweet potato that I have oven roasted. So I roast them in their skin, and they are, maybe I'll just grab one and show you what a Japanese sweet potato looks like. That would be these. They're kind of purplish on the outside, and then the inside is this light color, kind of like, it looks almost like a Yukon Gold potato on the inside. And these are called Japanese sweet potatoes where we live. I think back east, someone told me that they can be called Jersey yams. So if you don't have these, a Hana yam would work. I don't know if a regular orange sweet potato would work, but I'm guessing they probably would. They're more moist than the Japanese sweet potatoes. So I oven roast these, and I don't pierce them. I put them on a rimmed baking sheet with a silpat mat under them, and I bake them for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Sometimes longer if it's a really big one, but this size for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And then I refrigerate them. And that just makes all the sugars come to the surface, and it just makes the sweet potato even sweeter when you roast it a little bit longer. So you could probably sub a garnet sweet potato for this.
Oh, just a pertinent question on the sweet potatoes. Speaking of sweet potatoes,
yes,
the Japanese sweet potatoes are nothing like the Stokes. I made that mistake once when Tami sent me to the store to get sweet potatoes, and I came home with Stokes, and they're a very dry. Mealy is not quite the word. I mean, they're fun to eat, but they have a very distinctive flavor. Not earthy, but they're just not sweet.
Yeah, they're not sweet like these.
Yeah, the JSPs are.
Yeah, we call these JSPs, and they're really fantastic. After they've chilled in the refrigerator, cut them in half, score them, and put them in air fryer, and they become like candy. And I make crispy croutons out of them too, and there's a blog post on how to use them to make croutons. Okay, so I have a cup of the Japanese sweet potato that's been oven roasted, and it's cold because it was in my refrigerator because I batch cook those once a week, and then I can do all kinds of things with them. So that's going in the food processor, and this has no flour in it. And then the other thing I'm using is 1 cup of organic cooked garbanzo beans, and I just drained and rinsed them. And these happen to be canned. I still have, I think, 3 cans left of garbanzo beans, and we can't find them, but I have bulk dried ones, so I will be making my own, which they're much better when you make your own anyway. So this is 1 cup of drained and rinsed and drained garbanzo beans, and those are going in the food processor.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have a food processor, I don't know how you would make this because the batter will be too thick to make it in a blender. So yeah. I don't have an alternative for you.
A question from Abri about sweet potatoes, about using the orange sweet potatoes. I don't think those would work, would they? The orange sweet potatoes would
I was just talking about them, and I said that maybe you can, but they might be more wet. And so if they are, you'll get to see what my batter looks like. And if you use a garnet yam, and if it is more moist, then your batter will be thinner. And what I would do then is I would just add more oats to it until you get the right consistency. Okay, so then we're going to use dates in this to sweeten it. And these are the medjool dates. And I have 8 of them here. Now I will tell you, I made a batch of these for us yesterday so that I would have some already pre-made to show you today. And I forgot to put the dates in it. You didn't even notice. They were delicious, weren't they?
Yes.
We didn't even miss having dates in them.
That many dates goes in there? Wow.
Yeah, well, okay, the very first batch that I made on our anniversary, I only used 5 dates. And then I took some to our daughter's house the next day, and she tasted them. And she said, oh, they're not sweet enough for her because, she eats more, she's plant-based, but she eats a more liberal diet than we do, and she eats sugar and higher fat plant foods than we do. And she said, I think the texture is spot on, the flavor is good, and she said, but I would use like 1 date per serving, and it makes 8 servings. And so she said, I would definitely use 8 dates. And she said, and if you're going to serve them to anyone who doesn't eat sugar-free like you do, they're definitely going to want them to be sweeter. So
that's why I was going, it's going to be really sweet.
Yeah.
In a fun way. Yeah.
In a fun way.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that we might give a batch of them to them for them to eat, but
save me 1.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just put half the amount in then. So here's the thing, when you do dates, these are the soft medjool dates. If your dates are not real soft, then you'll want to boil some water, put the dates in a dish, and then pour boiling water over the dates and let them sit for 15 minutes to 30 minutes until they're nice and soft. Then drain off the water, because we need them to be really soft so that they'll blend in the food processor. So I'm only going to add 4 of these. We'll just tell her to put some banana nice cream on
there. You go.
That'll work. So, okay. So I have 4 in there. So what you want to do when you're using dates is you always want to make sure that you count the pits before you process to make sure that you got all the pits. And I counted out the 8 pits and made sure I had them before I put the dates over here. So anyway, the dates for us really would be optional. Because we thought they tasted really great even without the dates. But it just depends on where you're at in your food journey and what you're used to eating. Okay, so now let's talk about cocoa. So it uses, and I need the banana, a very ripe banana.
Okay.
If you could get me the ripe banana. See, we just didn't have enough time in between the 2 shows to get everything together. So a banana is going to go in here, and I weighed it when I made the very first batch and peeled. It was a small banana, and it was 3.75 ounces. So if you would weigh one and at just give me 3.75 ounces.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to finish this sentence, and then you can tell me that.
And then tell you again.
All right.
Okay, so this uses a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. So the first batch I used Wonder Cocoa that I made. And this is the one that the McDougalls always talk about. And it's called Wonder Cocoa by Wonder Slim. It's fat-free, 99.5% caffeine-free, 100% roasted cocoa beans, and trans fat-free powder for baking and drinking. And so again, Wonder Cocoa by Wonder Slim. I bought this at Whole Foods. It has a different packaging now. I saw it at Whole Foods not too long ago, and the packaging has changed. Now, I didn't think that this had quite the intense chocolate flavor that I wanted for the brownies. So the next batch that I made, I used this organic cacao powder. Okay. So this one, I think I bought this at Whole Foods, and you can also get it from Amazon. It's on our Amazon page.
You're covering your face. Hold it to the side.
Oh, sorry. Well, they know who I am. No. And I really like the flavor that this has. But use whatever kind of cocoa powder you have, unsweetened cocoa powder. If you have Hershey's, use the Hershey's, whichever kind you have that doesn't have sugar added, and that will be fine.
Okay, what did you want me to measure up? Because I was
3.75 ounces of a peeled, very ripe banana.
Okay.
Which we should have in the dining room. Okay, so that's the cocoa powder, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in here now. So, and already that smells really, really good. Okay, now this is just 2 tablespoons of aquafaba. And aquafaba is simply the cooking liquid that was in the can with the garbanzo beans. And if you put them in a strainer and drain off that aquafaba into a container, then you can use it in cooking for a lot of different things. Like I'll use it sometimes in place of oil when I'm oven roasting vegetables. Like I have a really wonderful Mediterranean sheet pan roasted vegetables. And, you know, normally in the old days I would have used oil. Well, now that I'm oil free, I just use a little bit of the aquafaba because it adds some moisture and then it'll allow the herbs to stick. In baking, it kind of replaces egg white. And you can also whip it with a blender and you can make a mock meringue with it. Of course, you would add sugar to that. But so it's really versatile and wonderful. And that can just go right in here, Tom. Thank you so much.
It was 1 banana and it's 3.74 ounces, so I'm
Perfect.
off by 1/100th of an ounce.
That's perfect. Wow,
Okay.
is that crazy? So, and they were little bananas, huh?
Well, no, this one was,
That was pretty good
these
size?
were medium.
Okay, well, let's show them.
Okay.
Show them what size banana you had.
So, yeah, one kind of average size bananas.
Yeah, not the great big giant ones. These are smaller. So I just have 2 tablespoons of it that I'm going to add in here. And then what you can do with that, the rest of the aquafaba from the garbanzo bean can, is you can put it in an ice cube tray and freeze it. And then if you just need a tablespoon or 2, you can just pull out 1 or 2 of your little aquafaba cubes. And it works really well. Okay, and then let's see. So then, and the recipe for this is in the show notes. Also, I did a blog post and I took some beautiful pictures. So you have to go to the blog and look at the beautiful pictures. Plus you can print the recipe on the blog real easily. You just click on print and just the recipe will print. So it will not waste.
If they open another tab on there, if you're PC based, you could open another tab
and you can
sneak a peek over there and still hear Tami on your YouTube tab. So
yeah.
If you're on a mobile device, then you need to stay put and look at it later.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla powder, and this is the one that I was able to find. You know, vanilla powder is in short supply and very expensive. So is vanilla extract. But if you don't have vanilla powder, use vanilla extract. If you don't have any vanilla powder or extract, just skip it. It's okay. The brownies are still going to taste good. You know, we're just layering the flavors here, and the vanilla just makes it taste sweeter. So, but if you don't have vanilla powder or vanilla extract, don't worry about it because it's a very small amount. And then I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda in here, just so that we get just a little bit of rise. Now, if you are sodium free, if you have hypertension, just know that baking soda and baking powder do have a lot of sodium in them, and so just be aware of that. You can buy online a sodium-free substitute, but look on your box because they do have a lot of sodium in them. Okay, and then I have frozen cherries, and this is 1/2 cup. I'd probably sneak in a couple more. I didn't tell Tom, he did a level cup, and I probably would have done
when I measured it, it was kind of roundy on top.
Was it? Okay, well, good. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10 of them in here. And so I just like the flavor of chocolate and cherry.
I always do a little extra when I'm measuring things.
Do you?
Because that way I'm never shortchanged.
That's what happens when you're one of 6 kids and you have to fight for food. I like the flavor of the cherry and the chocolate together, and I just think it makes it just taste a little bit richer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and blend these, and then we're going to talk about a couple of additions. Oh, and I was going to show you too. This is the Saigon Cassia cinnamon from local spicery, and it's one of my favorite. It's a really intense, super cinnamony flavored cinnamon, but use whatever kind you have. Whatever kind you have will be perfect, but that just happens to be my favorite. I don't have an affiliate relationship with them. I just love their company and I love their products. So I had a problem with the food processor in the last video that we just did, so we're going to see what happens here. Seems to be working.
Yay. It's nice that this thing's not as noisy as the Vitamix.
It's true. So I'm just going to scrape down the sides because I really want everything to get blended, and I want to make sure that the cocoa powder gets down in there because, you know, when I started it, it kind of splattered up. And so then I'm just going to run it again because I want this to get well incorporated. I want the banana and the cherries, and if I remembered to get the cherries out sooner, they would have been more thawed and they would have blended quicker.
Hi, Randy. I see you jumped on here, and if you see something I don't, then you're free to take care of it with the little buttons over there. So, so thanks. Randy, our moderator, just came in.
Nice. So the frozen cherries are just making it a little more difficult to blend. So let's see how we're doing.
While you're blending, how is Saigon Casa cinnamon different than Ceylon cinnamon?
You know, we have a video where Nick from the
Local Spicery.
From Local Spicery talks all about it and explains it.
Deep details on that.
Yeah, so look at our YouTube video for the Local Spicery sit down
that
chat.
was probably in the first.
It was in the
three.
first. We have 3, and it's the first one.
Yeah, he talks about the regular spices. So look for Local Spicerer, SPICERER.
Yeah, it's just naturally sweet. And he said a lot of times people will buy it and then they'll come back and they'll say, that cinnamon you sold me had sugar in it. And he's like, no, it didn't. But it's a type of cinnamon that is just naturally very sweet. And so it makes whatever you're making just taste sweeter without any added sugar. Yeah. So, and that's, you know, I just love it. So now I have rolled oats, and I have 1 cup of rolled oats. And so if you want these to be gluten-free, just make sure that you're using certified gluten-free oats. Oats are naturally gluten-free, but the problem is if they're processed in a processing plant that processes grains that have gluten, then there could be cross-contamination. So I do follow a gluten-free diet. I do not have celiac disease, but I do have one of the markers for celiac, and I have a sensitivity to gluten. And so I just avoid the grains that have, oops, tried to put that on backwards. So I'm putting these in. I do not want the oats to turn into a flour. And so I'm going to process it, scrape it down, and then process it again a little bit. But I want some of the oats to still be kind of showing in there. So let's see how I do. Okay, I'm just going to scrape down the sides because some of the oats are stuck.
What size is that processor?
This is a 14 cup. But I'm using, it has 3 different, what do I want to call these? Liners. Inserts.
Yeah. So what do you have, a 12 cup in there?
Uh-huh.
So 14 cup Cuisinart.
It's on our Amazon
Elite
page.
Series with the liner. And yes, I have that listed.
And it works really good. The only thing I don't like about it is I don't like cleaning it. But I just don't like cleaning a food processor. I think they're, you know, it's not so bad cleaning this part. It's cleaning the lid of it.
That works out great for me though, because I clean the food processor regularly, which is one way I'm able to really contribute to what's going on in the kitchen. I seem to be washing it
more than I do.
Because she's cooking all the time, so I'm washing all the time.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Okay, so this is good for me. I'm going to just show you what this looks like at this point. Do you see how it's like really thick? And that is my brownie batter of the brownies that I used to make way back when. That's how they were too. They were like super thick like this. So then when I made them on our anniversary, oh shoot, I forgot to add this stuff, you guys. I got to talking about it and then I forgot to add.
I was just talking about sometimes forgetting ingredients happens.
Were you? Yeah, see?
Are there any other ingredients here? There's some chocolate chips in.
I'm going to talk about that stuff, but now I've got to do it a little more.
Mix them more.
That's what happens when I stop and talk. I just got to get it in there.
So Gina and I in the chat are talking about chat comments. For me, they show up when I do the replay on my PC, but when I'm playing a replay on my iPhone, I never get to see the chat there. So I haven't learned that setting if there is one. But if you want to see live chat, it seems to be real easy to do on the PC. When you don't go to full screen, it's always there. I always intend to leave that on. I don't know how to turn it off, but I don't want to turn it off either. So,
okay, so now let's talk about add-ins. So when I made these for us on our anniversary, I added some cacao nibs. And let me just show you.
so your consistency is super thick like dough.
Yeah, it's really thick. This is really thick. And I'll tell you that Japanese sweet potato wasn't a super moist one. So, I mean, I probably could add a couple more tablespoons of aquafaba to this, and that would probably be fine. And I think I will, because I think it'll just make this one better.
Okay. All right, good call. Thank you.
What?
The comment about it being kind of a dough texture.
And it's thick, but it's just a little too thick. We'll just add a little bit of the aquafaba that
I'm not
saved.
wearing my apron because I wasn't
today?
going to be wrapped up in the ingredients today, or I'm lazy. I don't know which.
Okay.
I should wear it because I never know when I'm going to get pulled into something on short notice.
Okay, there we go. So it's just a little more moist now.
Yeah, that looks better.
See?
Yay.
Yeah, and that'll be great. Okay, so what I did the Tuesday when I made it is I just added a tablespoon of cacao nibs. And so this is a brand that we bought at Whole Foods the other day. So, and this is just the cacao, just like chopped up. Okay, is that better? Just like, it's just rough cut. It's kind of like, looks like chopped nuts. So it adds a little bit of crunch in the brownie, which makes you feel like you're getting some nuts in it, and it also adds a chocolate flavor. So now these have in 3 tablespoons, in case anybody wants to know, 150 calories and 8 grams of fat is what's in those. So, and we really liked that. That added a nice flavor, and it added a nice crunch. And then when I was watching Brittany's from the Giroudi family, when I was watching her video on her, I don't think it was the brownies. The first time I saw, she was doing some kind of cookie or something. But this week she did brownies, and she used these chocolate chips that have no sweetener in them at all. And so they are just pure chocolate, unsweetened, organic chocolate. They have about 1 calorie per little drop, per little chocolate chip. They're really tiny little chocolate chips. Here, I'll show you what they look like. You can see they're very small, and they're very dark chocolate because they have no sweetener in them. And so the batch that I made yesterday, I added just like a couple tablespoons of these, and it was delicious. We really liked it. Now, it's all going to depend on where you're coming from, whether you like these or not. These are from the Santa Barbara Chocolate Company, and in the blog post, I linked to them. I have no affiliation with them, and they are expensive. You have to buy this 3-pound bag, which will probably last us for years. But I went ahead and ordered them because I wanted to order them before the weather gets hot, because they'll melt. And so I wanted to get them ordered. So that would add a nice little layer of chocolate. And I just sprinkled them on top when I made them yesterday, and we really liked that. So, and I know that's not in everybody's budget to get these. So at Trader Joe's, they have this chocolate. This is Montezuma's 100% cocoa solids, dark chocolate, absolute black with cocoa nibs. And this has no sugar. So for a quarter of the bar, it's 150 calories and 14 grams of fat and 4 grams of fiber and 0 sugar, because there is no sugar added. So this is made with chocolate liquor, 93%. and that's chocolate liquor, which is different than chocolate liqueur because this has no alcohol in it. So I had Tom look this up,
Okay,
and he's going to read to you what it says.
So this is a description from respecttothechocolate.com with regard to chocolate liquor. It's spelled Liquor. Chocolate liquor is a thick paste-like mass made of pure cocoa solids and cocoa butter, made from cocoa beans. It does not contain alcohol. That is called chocolate liqueur, Liqueur, which is a beverage made from a base liquor like whiskey or vodka containing alcohol to which chocolate is added. So this is chocolate liquor, not chocolate liqueur.
Correct.
So if you're on it, what do you call it? A SOFAS, salt, oil, sugar, flour, alcohol-free diet, this is legitimate.
And this is actually made in the UK, and they sell it at our Trader Joe's. And my daughter is the one who first discovered this, and she gave me a bar of it. And so when she tasted the brownies, she said, Mom, what would be really good is to take that no sugar added chocolate bar and just, either grate it or chop it up with a knife, just a little piece of it. I mean, I wouldn't even do a quarter of the bar, just a couple of the squares. And she said that would be really good in the brownies just to boost the chocolate flavor. So that's an option too. But I will tell you that just with the cacao nibs, we thought it was fantastic. And the ones that I made yesterday, we didn't have the sugar, we didn't have the dates in them, and then I didn't even put these chocolate chips on all of them. I left 2 of them plain, and even the plain ones tasted great because we're so used to not eating really sweet food.
Have you gotten to the vanilla yet?
So, yeah, I talked about vanilla.
Okay.
This is vanilla powder. Right. And this one I don't know if we have on our Amazon store, but you should add this one. This one I just bought because vanilla powder, organic vanilla powder is so hard to find right now. And I don't remember. This was probably like $30 for this little bag, and I'm using it very gingerly. So, just like a quarter teaspoon here or there because it's gotten to be so expensive. So there you go. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add some of the little chocolate chips that have no sugar in them. I'm going to add those just to the very top of it because that's like one of the first things that your taste bud's going to taste when you take a bite of it. And so I think it'll just makes the flavor a little bit more intense. And so now we're going to talk about what we're going to bake these in. So you would want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And I'm using a 9-inch silicone pan is what I'm going to make them in because the brownies that Brittany made on her video, she did a round pan and then cut them in pie shapes. And that looked really cute for serving because we like to serve it a la mode as well. And we'll talk about that. But I want to show you, if you don't have a silicone pan, I want to show you how you can just use whatever kind of pan you have and some parchment paper. So here is all this stuff. I'm looking.
Yeah, you know what? I'll come around. If you're going to be, I'll come around and work the camera a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because I'm going to show them. I'm just trying to move stuff out of the way.
So, so Randy, if you grab the helm on being troll hunter, I'm going to step away from the computer.
Do you have to give her?
No, she has it
again. She already has it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's what I did: is I just cut a piece of parchment paper so that it is bigger than my pan. Do you see this? And then I'm just going to, I'm going to cut the corners so that it will fit nicely in the pan. And this, I think, is an 8-inch pan. Yeah, this is an 8-inch pan. So in this, the brownies are going to be a little bit thicker in an 8-inch, and so you might have to adjust the cooking time. And then I'm just going to try to line up my scissor line with the corner here and go like that. And then I'm also going to come at it from this side because that's how it's going to work. Then I'm going to do that again over here. And this is just going to help it to fit in the pan better.
Do we have the silicone bakeware on the Amazon page?
You know, they don't, it's not, the set that we have is no longer available, but I do have a couple pieces on our Amazon store that I found that are very similar to what I have. So I go in one direction and then come in from the other direction. And usually when I put it down in there, then I pull these little corners out. But let's see how it goes. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but this creates like a non-stick pan with whatever kind of pan you have. So it's just a nice little trick. And it's, you know, easier to do this with a square pan than try to get the parchment paper to fit in a round pan. And so then I just pick it up and put it down in my pan, pull those corners out. And sometimes if I haven't cut it quite right and I need a little bit, you know, to cover an area that isn't covered, then I will use that to make sure it's all covered. But what this does is it creates a nice non-stick surface for you inside the pan. You'll get the shape of the pan, and then it's easy to take them out because when the brownies are done baking, then you can lift them out. And so that works out really great. And I think I first saw this trick, I think I saw a video where Drina Burton showed this, and I've been doing it ever since for years. So it works great. So you don't have to buy a special pan if you don't want to. You can just use this. And, you know, I'm not sure how I would do a round pan. I guess, oh, well, you know, this wouldn't be too bad on a round
pan too. You can
yeah,
lift it out.
It looks like it would work pretty good for a round pan too. I think that would work. So you could use the same technique if you had like a 9-inch round pan then too. Okay, I'm just going to set this over there. The parchment paper is great because it does create a non-stick surface. Okay, so now I'm going to take my batter and put my batter in here. And remember, the recipe is down below in the show notes. Oop, I'm going to have to eat that because it fell out. It's so good, you guys. And it's really sweet from those dates. But for people who are used to eating sugary stuff, you know, the dates will make it just right for them. Because I thought it was funny that we liked them without any dates in them, but Katie, our daughter, thought that they weren't sweet enough.
Well, because we're not probably having such
Rich.
Our sweet teeth aren't so sweet needy.
Yes, it's true. Okay. So now I'll just get this out and put it in the pan.
So yeah, there is some silicone bakeware on the Amazon page. I just don't know what piece is. This brand, we couldn't find it anywhere. It doesn't exist anymore.
The problem was there's no brand on it.
There's no name on it.
There's no name on it.
So we found some that looks very similar.
Yeah.
It could be the same company with a newer model, but we don't know that.
No, because there's no brand anywhere on it. And even when we went back in our history for our orders on Amazon, we couldn't find, it listed no brand. And so we don't know what happened with that. But there's lots of silicone bakeware available on Amazon. And so I just look at the ratings that they've gotten, how many have sold and what are their ratings. And then it's always good to kind of go down in the comments on Amazon and read some of the comments to see, you know, what did people actually say once they got it. Okay, so then again, the same as I was talking about with the lentil loaf. You just want to spread this out as evenly as you can so that all the pieces are the same thickness. And that's also going to ensure that it all cooks at the same time.
The add-on ingredients of this you have the bean-based brownie recipe already on the blog. Would this work with the bean-based brownie, you know, instead of the sweet potato base? This was a question from
Remind me, I don't remember the recipe. It must have been a long time ago.
Would this recipe work just as well with the black bean brownie recipe that you have instead of using the sweet potatoes, but use the black beans instead?
I'd have to look at it. I can't recall the recipe right at this moment. So
Okay.
I would have to look at the recipe to see, because I can't think of the ingredients
Of what else was in there? Yeah.
right to see, because baking is all about measurements and moisture and the ratio of wet to dry ingredients.
So it'd be an experiment.
Yeah, but you know what? That's how you find things that are good, though. Because like I had the idea for this, and I have clarity like at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when I wake up and I'm thinking about like recipes, or I'll be kind of just in that like somewhat sleepy but coming awake phase, and then I'll think, oh, if I put this and that together, I bet that would work. That's kind of like what happened with my Alfredo sauce.
Yeah. Where's that chocolate bar? Elizabeth from England. This is Montezuma's 100% cocoa solids dark chocolate absolute black, 3.5 ounce container. So yeah, Montezuma's 100% cocoa solids. So I hope that helps.
Okay, so the chocolate. Did you take the bag of
The
chocolates?
bag? Yeah,
I
I'll get
haven't
it.
used them yet.
Oh, I thought you had some measured out in the container.
No, that I had cacao nibs out in a container. It's okay, I'll grab it. I got it. I'm closer. I'm closer.
my foot is hung up on my earbud cord. I'm stuck here.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to take some of these.
Yeah, it was like in the front of the screen, so I was just getting rid of
no
too
problem.
much stuff.
Okay, so here's 1 tablespoon, and I might use like 2 tablespoons. And I'm just going to let them fall however they do. I'm not
These
going
will
to.
freeze just fine, won't they?
I don't know. That might be a question that we'll have to ask. I have to ask Brittany how she stores hers.
Yeah.
Like they'd be okay in the pantry, but like if we go on vacation or something and we don't have the air running, then I would worry about them melting.
Put them in the freezer. If you
Yeah,
could freeze
I know. I said we'll have to ask her
them. Okay.
if she's ever frozen them, or we can write to the company. I was just super excited to find these, you guys,
No,
because
the leftovers. Kathy Salich is asking about freezing the leftover brownies.
oh yeah, freeze them, sure, absolutely. I thought you guys were talking about freezing the chips, the chocolate chips. Oh no, I totally freeze the brownies. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Okay.
So, and that way we'll have little treats. But one thing that happens to us, out of sight, out of mind, when we freeze stuff, a lot of times we forget we have our little treats. Like,
oh, Brittany's here. We've been talking about
Hi,
you
Brittany.
and your chips.
thank you so much for talking about these chocolate chips with no sugar added. I was so excited. I ordered them. They came yesterday. I was super excited. And you inspired me to try my attempt, which was successful, at recreating a chocolate cherry brownie with oats. Now, I didn't used to put the cherries in them, but before we went plant-based, I used to make these brownies with oats in them that everybody loved. And so on our anniversary, you inspired me to try making them. Ta-da! And then these would just go in the oven, and how long did I bake them? I can't even remember now. I didn't write it on here. I think it was 25 minutes though. And it's just going to depend on how big of a pan you use, how thick they are, how long you're going to want to bake them. But let me grab a couple of them that are already
So if that's not in the
done.
blog post, we'll go in and add the 25 minutes into the recipe on the blog
Yes.
post? Okay.
Are you able to go in and change what it says on your, because on my notebook, I had it written
Yeah.
in my notebook. Do you
This
have my
notebook over here?
Yeah. Why is this called Nutmeg Notebook? Because all of my recipes go in a notebook. When I'm recipe testing, are they in here? Might have been in the other one.
That's
So
the only notebook I
crazy.
saw. Or is it on your desk?
There's the lentil over. Here we go. 25 minutes.
You were right. Okay.
Yeah, see, this is what it looks like, my pen scratch. And if I have to try things
What
multiple
happened to
times.
those pages? Everything's kind of...
I know, they
Look
get
at-
wet and they
it's got
get
some
stuff on it.
It's got
and-
nutritional value happening here.
That's right. That's how you know. That's how you know it's good. Okay, so this is what it would look like going in the oven. And then here's one with the chips that I made yesterday.
Where's the ice cream?
Yeah, get the ice cream out. And then on our anniversary, while I was busy making brownies, Tom made banana cherry nice cream
Where'd
for
you
us
put it?
in our champion juicer.
Oh, in there. Okay.
I'm not sure where it is. Right here, no? Okay,
No,
now
you made those 2 little scoops.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
No.
here, you keep talking and I'll look
Now
deeper.
we've lost the ice cream. Make sure I didn't put it in the refrigerator by mistake. Anything could have happened today. You never know.
You did. You put it in the refrigerator.
Oh my gosh. And has it completely melted?
They're perfectly shaped. I'm going to get you a spatula. This is going to be interesting.
Okay, so this is the one with the chocolate chips, and then this is one that I didn't put any chocolate chips on, but I did cacao nibs in this one, and we like both. They're really super delicious. They're very moist, and so like even our daughter, who eats more rich plant-based foods, and she uses, coconut sugar in her baking. She thought they were delicious. Oh my gosh, that is too funny. Oh, don't put that on. It'll totally ruin it. No. We'll have to put that in the freezer.
They have shape.
No, but it's really gross looking. Look. Instead of putting it in the freezer, I put it in the refrigerator.
Okay, I'll put it in the freezer.
Yeah, maybe we'll have it later. Yeah, because it'll be a soppy mess. And we're not going to eat that right now, So anyway, but just know I put a picture of the banana cherry nice cream on it, is on the blog post, is a nice picture of it. So do you want to tell them what your ratio of banana and cherry is when you make the banana nice cream?
Yeah, you did put the Santa Barbara on the blog post. You put a link to that.
Yeah, on the blog post I put a link to it. But if you just look up Santa Barbara Chocolate Company, they have a website that you can go to.
Yeah, and then you put a link in that same paragraph, I think, to Brittany's channel as well, to Judy Family Channel.
I did.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so if you haven't visited her YouTube channel, it's a very cool place to go.
Yeah, do. She
Lots
has,
of recipes.
Yes, lots of great recipes, and she has a YouTube channel. And
Okay.
So we discovered her and like to follow her, as well as Crocs in the Kitchen and Dylan at Well Your World, and then our friend Shada has Healthy Cooking with Shada, and she has a YouTube channel and a Facebook page, so check her out as well for other whole food, plant-based, SOS-free meals.
Bananas and cherries.
Bananas and cherries.
So.
And whatever method you use to make your nice cream, we have a champion juicer that we use, and we have the Yonanas, and we've made nice cream in our food processor and in our Vitamix. So whatever method you like to use.
6 cherries to a banana gives you a pretty pink-ish blend coming out. So if you're using a Vitamix like that, it's going to be evenly blended. But in the Champion, where it works like a juicer, so I put in about 1/3 of banana and 2 cherries, 1/3 of banana, 2 cherries, 1/3 of banana and 2 cherries, and I keep repeating that until all of the bananas are used up. There's always plenty of extra cherries. And that way it's not too tart, it's not too cherry-ish. And I actually kind of mix it so that it makes a swirl. I'll do maybe a couple of sections of banana and then, a few cherries to give it a pink and a white swirly appearance. So yeah, about 6 cherries to a banana gives you a pretty nice looking ice cream.
So if you make that in your Vitamix or in a food processor, however you make it, that's a nice ratio. And that's our little sweet pea, our granddaughter who's going to be 4 soon. That is her favorite ice cream. And so whenever she comes over here, she's like, hey guys, I got a good idea. Do you want to have a party and make some ice cream? Do you think that's a good idea? And we always go, yeah, that's a good idea. So, and I know one of our subscribers told us that when she has her grandkids over, she lets them have that for breakfast because it's just fruit, and they think like she's the coolest grandma ever because they get to have ice cream for breakfast, and you know, it's just fruit. So it makes it really fun. So anyway, these are really delicious brownies. They have the oats in them. They have a great texture to them, and they're fudgy, and we hope you like them, and you know, adjust them according to your personal preference as well. I think that you could, like a little, if you like coconut, you could add like a 1/4 cup of shredded unsweetened coconut in them would be really good. I mean, if you do nuts, you could certainly add nuts to them, and that would be good. And
your Dylan's Well Your World cheese sauce in your.
Good.
And what did you order? You ordered cheese. We just got a pop up on my screen. We ordered cheese sauce and
gravy mix.
And gravy mix from Dylan at Well Your World.
Yeah, and then some of our sauces.
And it's on our doorstep. It just got delivered. So
yeah, I like that stuff to be. I like to order things before it gets hot here, so that the food items aren't sitting in a box in a hot UPS truck someplace. So we reordered our ketchup and our barbecue sauce and the Asian sauce and the Indian sauce and all of that.
I gotta tell Philipina, who's on the chat here.
Okay.
I've been hearing a lot of conversation in the last couple of weeks about a haircut that was missed about a month ago. So we're going on 2 months here. But it's like I have been saying, it's being observed that your hair still looks really good.
Oh, thank you. Well, I have to say, my friend Lori, who cuts my hair, she's been cutting my hair for about 25 years, and she is fabulous. And so if it wasn't for her precise cut, growing it out would be really miserable right now. Now, I did do a little trim this morning. I didn't tell you, like right here. Like, because this was like really...
You trimmed it?
Yeah, right here. Because this was just like really bugging me.
So we brought home
right
my son-in-law's electric hair clipper set that he got. I don't know when he got that. He's had it for a while. Because I'm starting to feel a little bit scruffy around the edges here.
He wants me to do it. I'm like, what if I make a mistake?
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of the, because we have shorter hair, so things are more noticeable. A lot of the guy tubers and even all of the major late night hosts that are doing their YouTube style presentations now because they're not in studio because they're quarantined at home. It's hilarious that all of us guys, our hair is growing out and getting scrubbed. Dylan's growing everything. He's growing the beard and the hair. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, the last haircut I had was before we went on the vegan cruise in February. So it was like, it was February 14th is when I went, and that was the last time I had my hair cut. So I usually get my hair cut every 5 weeks because I don't like it to lose its shape, because on a bob, when it grows out.
Yeah.
But, small price to pay to keep people safe right now.
Yeah.
No nail polish.
Stephanie, I feel fine. My cheeks are fine. It's hot in here. We've got the studio lights on. The sun came out full force and warmed up the kitchen, so I think it's like 75 or 6 degrees in here, and I like it closer to 68.
Yeah, I'm actually really comfortable as warm because I'm always cold.
And I'm wearing a flannel shirt because this morning it was coolish. Mm-hmm. So Linda is asking about, she missed the first part, can you use Hannah sweet potatoes instead of JSPs?
Sure.
Okay.
You can use the Hannah. So, the nice thing about using those is they add a lot of sweetness to the brownies. And so you want to make sure that you're oven roasting them because that's what brings out the natural sugars in the sweet potatoes. So I wouldn't use a boiled potato. I wouldn't use a potato that was cooked in the pressure cooker because you don't get the same amount of natural sugar coming out and caramelizing as you do for oven roasting. And I do mine 400 degrees for an hour and 20 minutes. And don't pierce them because we want all those juices to stay inside.
Randy just snitched off that Reeves cut Dylan's hair. He got his hair cut from his significant other. Mm-hmm.
I have no experience at cutting hair.
She can watch a YouTube. You can watch a YouTube video.
I will, and then it will be what it is, and you can't complain. If I cut it, you can't complain how it turns out. You'll have to just
Okay. All right, well, that's good
So
information.
we'll try it. We can try.
Thank you, Randy.
We can try it. Maybe we should do it
Vindy's
live.
Dreamer want her
Do you want to do it live?
What?
I said, do you want to do it live?
Tami cuts hair live on the Nutmeg Notebook channel.
Yeah, it's not really our genre.
Okay, we'll think about that.
Cosmetology. I don't have my cosmetology license.
Yeah,
so
it could be a license violation.
I could get in trouble.
Okay, Reeves had no experience either and said afterwards that she should watch some YouTube video. Well, yeah, you should watch the YouTube video first. You're going to watch them first.
Yeah, I'm going to watch a YouTube video or two.
Yeah, I just want a little trim around the ear and then clean up this scruffy that's catching on my collar.
I know, I'm so nervous to do that.
So.
Okay, I'll try.
She does all of this wonderful food artistry. She can cut hair.
That's completely different from cutting somebody's hair. I have no idea how to cut hair.
Kim Howell it's the mushroom gravy we got from Dylan. Kim Howell's mentioned
Yes,
that.
we're getting the mushroom gravy, the cheese sauce mix, and some of our favorite sauces.
Some of the salads that was left over because you guys bought everything else, and so he's out of stock on some things.
Yeah, the sweet heat. I really love the sweet heat salad dressing, and he was sold out of that. That one and the mustard one are probably my two favorites.
I think we're done with hair. Phil Pina started that whole conversation, so.
Yeah, so I am so ready. So yesterday, my hair is actually naturally wavy, and so I blow it out with a great big roll brush, and then I use a straightening iron on it. So yesterday I had it go wavy, and then I just embellished it a little bit with a curling iron.
That was fun yesterday. Yeah.
But it drove me crazy because I felt like it was so big because I'm used to my hair being straight. And so I just felt like every time I moved, I felt like my hair was moving.
No, it was fun and sassy. Okay,
I'll try again.
Stephanie says, what is your go-to vanilla extract that you can buy in the stores versus buying it online? Do you buy anything in the store?
You know, Costco carries a pure vanilla, and I think that Trader Joe's does too. And I haven't bought any for a couple of years because I started using the vanilla powders. And so I haven't actually bought the vanilla extract for a really long time. I just know that all of it is very expensive.
Yeah, and Nick talks about that. He talked about that in one of your... Yeah, in the back on the local spicery videos, the series of 3, Nick gets into a little global trade story about what happened with vanilla. It's crazy. Okay, I think I'm kind of scrolling back up here.
Are you guys going to make brownies?
Large food processor.
I wanted to share this recipe with you today for anyone who wants to make it right now. Or for Easter, if you celebrate Easter, then you'll have the recipe. I kept thinking that today was Saturday, and it's not. Today is Friday.
Today's Friday.
So tonight is date night.
We have dates. There's a package of dates right over there. Okay, Jamie.
But it's date night. It's Friday night.
Okay.
We usually like go to a movie or go to our favorite vegan restaurant, or
we could get takeout from our favorite vegan Asian restaurant takeout. Okay, Jamie is asking, I'm cleaning up questions.
Okay.
We're cleaning up questions here. Jamie asked quite a while ago on the feed, do you have a recipe for making dried chickpeas? I replied and answered, I put in a link.
We have a video.
And it's in the chat thing, so copy paste it on chickpeas.
Yes.
It's just...
air fried chickpeas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So hopefully that answers that question.
And if you don't have an air fryer, you can make them in an oven. You just kind of have to experiment with your own oven as to what temperature would be right. I would start at 400 and put them in there, and then, move them around. Take a spatula and move them around and see how long it would take in your oven. Because I haven't made them in an oven in a very long time. So since we got an air fryer, I just make them in the air fryer. And so I'll either make them in the Breville, or we have the adapter for the electric pressure cooker. We have the Milthy crisp lid, and it has a smaller basket. So you have to do it in a couple of batches, but it turns your 6 or 8 quart pressure cooker into an air fryer without taking up any extra room. So I've made them in that as well, and that works good too.
Randy Dolan, our moderator, is from Nashville, Tennessee.
Aww.
So do you like country music, Randy?
Thank you so much for moderating for us too.
We
that
watched
really
The
helps.
Voice, and we just love Blake Shelton. He is such a hilarious keeps things. He keeps the soup stirred
He
in
does.
whatever he's doing.
That's a fun.
So-
I like the voice. That's
Yeah.
fun. What are you guys watching right now on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon? What are you guys watching? We're like needing some more series to watch.
Not too much on the country music. Okay. Well,
We're not either.
well, we like him.
We like him, but
yeah,
we don't follow the country music
Yeah.
musicians. We're not
Let's
country
see.
music fans.
All right.
So what are you guys watching? Anything?
Diane's saying she's going to have to wait until her son goes to Whole Foods and hope that they currently have JSP or Hannah's. We've been lucky at our Whole Foods. They've had both. They've been a little bit rough
over.
lately, undersized on the JSPs. And
Well, one week they were huge, remember? One week we bought them and all of them were huge.
Then the next week
and then the next week they were all little tiny ones. And one day when we went in, there was just a really small amount, and because they had been picked over so badly.
Linda loves the Murdoch series on Acorn. So far as what she watched, we're binge watching on
Hulu,
the
Little Fires or something.
Little Fires, yeah.
And that is
interesting, intense, kind of very well done with the lady from Scandal and the other one they call it.
Karen says that we froze. It does look like we froze.
Oh, let me check.
See what happened to the battery.
Okay, it should go. It's good. It was just a low battery.
Low battery.
That was a low battery, so it should start going again.
Thank you for letting us know. Let's see. Do you need to refresh your page?
Yeah. Now it's back. Okay.
Okay, now we're back.
All right.
Okay, good. Wow.
Okay, yeah, it was just a low battery warning. We're at
Thank
20%,
you, though.
so we're going to be fine because we're almost done.
Yeah.
Okay, and we got to get the...
Yeah, we're watching a lot more TV right now. But our schedule, like during the week, really hasn't changed because we still go to our daughters and help with the kids a few days a week. So that hasn't changed. What really is noticeable is how long it takes to go shopping, because you have to line up everywhere and they only let so many people in at a time. And, we're doing a little bit, we're trying to go once a week for us, but then sometimes we have to run and try to find things for our daughter. It's like even like diapers and baby wipes, and people are hoarding that kind of stuff, and which is just crazy.
So we're just buying the minimum allocation. Gina wants to watch Killing Eve. The second season's coming out soon.
Yeah, we did watch that. That was also scary and
So we watched the
intriguing.
first season. Incredible show. Highly recommended. Hang on for an interesting ride.
Yes.
Jericho, I've seen that. We have not started watching that.
Well, I thought that was a movie. Isn't Jericho a movie or is it a series?
I don't know.
Oh, it must be a series, Jericho on Netflix.
Okay. All right. We need
Okay.
to finish up. We've been on here an
Oh,
hour.
HBO is now free this month, so somebody's watching The Sopranos.
Oh.
We never did watch The Sopranos. Hello
No.
from New Zealand. Oh, hi, Susan. Nice to have you from New Zealand. That's so cool.
Yeah, and we got Wanted. Okay.
That's great. All right.
Blacklist. Yeah, we've got a bunch
oh.
of blacklists saved up. So.
Oh, yeah, we do. I guess we've got stuff to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, you know what, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. This was really a lot of fun. So I hope you guys will try the brownies. Let us know what
I
you
bet
think.
that ice cream's frozen now.
It might be frozen, but it's going to have a weird look to it. He made the most beautiful banana cherry ice cream, and then in my craziness getting ready, I stuck it in the refrigerator instead of the freezer. But just know this is so delicious, topped with ice cream. So, yeah, well, what else?
If you haven't thumbs up, please do that. And
subscribe to our channel and click on the bell, because that's how you get notifications when we're going to go live. And if you haven't been to the blog, jump over to nutmegnotebook.com and check out the blog, because we have hundreds of recipes that we have yet to make videos for. And the brownie recipe, as well as the lentil loaf that we just showed you in the previous live, both recipes are on the blog, so you can print them easily. And if you like the videos, please share them on your plant-based Facebook groups so that we can reach more people, because that's the mission we're on, is to help people make this a sustainable way of life.
And thank you, Randy, for moderating. I saw that you did take care of some business while I was away, so I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. It's a great help.
Oh, you know what?
So,
you know what? There's one thing I was going to...
Something you were going to do or say? Or
I was going to...
So we hope everybody stays safe. Stay home as much as you can. Shelter in place, as they say. It looks like we're going to be doing this all the way through April here. Ooh, we just passed the 20,000 mark on subscribers. We have 20,006 subscribers to our YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for following us. We really do appreciate it, and we love getting your emails and all your fantastic comments, and so keep them coming. You can always write to me at Tami@nutmegnotebook.com or to Tom at nutmegnotebook.com. And you know, sometimes it takes us a few days to a week to answer all the emails that we get. They always seem to come in a little flood of them. We seem to get a lot of them all at the same time.
Okay.
But this has been really fun hanging out with you guys. I hope everybody stays safe, stay well, eat healthy. We don't want to get at the end of this pandemic and find ourselves having gained weight. So don't eat the whole pan of brownies.
Do you keep that vanilla powder in the refrigerator, freezer when we're not?
I don't. It doesn't say.
It's just a dry powder.
Oh, this one says store tightly sealed in a cool, dry environment. None of the others have said that, but this one does say that. So I guess maybe I should put this one in the fridge. Thank you for mentioning that.
Okay.
We will.
Nadej 949 says woohoo.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, time to go. Have we gone off?
No, we're still there. You gotta say.
Okay. So I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
get healthy and stay healthy. One meal at a time. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys. Have a great evening. And are we going live on Sunday?
Maybe.
Maybe. We might go live on Sunday since the family's not going to come over. Okay. We'll see you then.